Welcome to Manny's TV Talk, where we will talk about all of our favorite reality TV shows and news surrounding them. Grab a snack, a drink, and get comfortable because this starts now. Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of Vanderpump Rules, Season 11, Episode 13. Let's get right into this.
God, dude, you've been the other woman in a relationship.
You hell no! You.
You have
When I was
though.
21 years old in 2006, you.
Alright, before we begin, let me just give a disclaimer that I literally just watched the episode, so I'm a little heated, so I might sound a little insensitive, so I apologize for that, but let's get started. So we start this episode seeing a whole bunch of little clips of people doing their thing. We see James and Allie. James was working on some music, and then we hear, "Hey, yo, James!" And it was Jax Taylor, so he's coming over to his house because he had reached out to James and wanted to host like a little party at Sir. That'll be cool, so they agreed to do that. Jax says he's pretty much cool with everyone in the group except Katie, who has been going around saying that he cheated on Brittany and like he threw some shade, like, oh, maybe because she isn't able to smash any more of Schwartz's friends, maybe that's why she's spending her time talking about me. Also, he doesn't know where he stands with Lisa Vanderpump, so it'll be interesting to see that. And it's also interesting that Jax and James are pretty cool now. The next scene is Sheena in her home with her mom and daughter. And then Brittany goes over. This season, they've been doing a lot of crossover because of the new show, The Valley, which we will talk about tomorrow. But yeah, Brittany's over and they're talking about the kids. Brittany says that she's definitely going to be trying to have another one. And Sheena then opens up about the constant fights that her and her husband have been having recently. Like the other day, they got in some fight because she didn't want to go out to dinner with her or something like that. Sheena starts to cry and she talked about her OCD, her ABC, DFG, and looks like she's having some weird thoughts. She says that every once in a while there'll be people who say, oh, look at the way Lala looks at Brock. So she fears that, he might leave her for Lala, or that she even fears that like he might cheat on her with the new babysitter that they get. These are some crazy thoughts. Either she's extremely insecure or he's the wrong man, but to be thinking all this is kind of crazy. We also see Brock with one of his Australian friends, and he's still saying that he wants to get a nanny because he wants to get back to work because right now Sheena is the breadwinner, and as a man, I think it's a natural feeling to feel like you need to provide for your family. The next scene was interesting. It was Tom Schwartz and Katie. They went out to go buy a milkshake and some sandwiches. And I'm kind of glad that they're trying to get along. They're not necessarily going to get back together, per se, but, just have a nice friendship. She teases him on his hair, and they talked about dating. Looks like they're both are looking for the same thing. They're kind of wanting to have fun, but not necessarily take things too seriously. And they also joke about that little girl that they were both dating at the same time, and then they were like, ooh, let's text her and see who she answers first. The next scene is a romantic dinner with Sheena and Brock, and they seem to be having fun, at least in this scene. They were okay. They're celebrating their 2-year anniversary of being together. They say that they need to spend more time with each other, and then he opens up about not being exactly sure what he is going to do with his life right now. Like, it really hurts him that, like, before this, like when he got to the country, he kind of had a clear vision of, okay, I want to do this, I want to do that, but right now he has no idea, so that can be a little frustrating, and he definitely wants to make things easier for Sheena as far as work and things like that. Then she says, well, maybe this could be your chance to be a better dad, and then he starts to cry because he has 2 children who he doesn't take care of, and he cries in hopes that in the future he could have a relationship with those other 2 in the future, but they say that they should, talk to a therapist every once in a while, and they say that they definitely do love each other, so it was a pretty good scene for them. So then we see Schwartz go pick up Sandoval, and Sandoval was feeling himself in that car listening to that music. They go to a tattoo shop. Schwartz is getting a tattoo of his dogs. I don't like tattoos in general, that's just me. They're talking about this big event as well that one of their friends is going to be having in San Francisco, and everyone's going, so they're looking forward to that. So as Schwartz is getting his tattoo, Sandoval is still trying to convince Schwartz to live with him in the house once Ariana moves out. And as he's talking, Sandoval, he literally falls off the chair where he was sitting. It was hilarious and crazy. Allie and James then go to some spa to get a facial, and okay, they have a little situation. So they were planning on going out of town to Allie's good friend's wedding. And of course, she wanted to be there with him. But there's a problem. James trusts no one with his dog and cat. Listen, I can't imagine not being able to go places over a dog. Not even a child, a freaking dog or cat. But again, that's just me. I am not a pet person in general. But Allie was definitely getting irritated over this. So then we see Ariana working out and she's FaceTiming her boyfriend, who I guess he doesn't live close. So Ariana is hoping that he will tag along with the group when they go to San Francisco so she can spend some time, like physical touch. Then the new assistant walks in as Ariana was walking on the treadmill, and then Ariana sort of tells her boyfriend that they're still trying to figure out this whole house deal. Okay, then it is time for Jax and James' Sir event. The whole cast is there. Now the queen, LVP, is asking, why is Jax Taylor hosting an event here? He's been so disrespectful to me. James says, well, he's been asking me for a while. And damn, Lisa is still salty about Jackson. They ran those tapes of Lisa and Jax's little arguments and some of the things that Jax has been saying about her ever since he left the show. So then Jax comes in, he approaches Lisa and says, can I sit here? Do you mind? She says, I do, actually. He's like, why you mad? And Lisa brings up that Jax went on some podcast to say that Lisa was unnecessary on this show, that she was kind of like irrelevant and like unuseful. Jax says, well, you wrote me off. You've never checked on me or my wife. Lisa says, you're such a hypocrite. So they kind of went at it a little bit, but then Jax gives her a hug. He says, I love you, however you feel about me. And Lisa says, I kind of love you, even though you're friggin' annoying. So then Jax goes to the group of ladies of the show, and they were all happy to see him, except Katie, obviously. Jax then says to Ariana, I'm not a gossiper, but did you know Schwartz could possibly be moving into your old house? Ariana says, well, I would love to know where my money at. James then says there's going to be a pool party at his house. By the way, Lala was like, well, let me call my imaginary husband to let him know. And Brock said, like he was joking, he said, well, that would be me. And then the camera pins right at Sheana. So they then go over to James' house, all of them except Sandoval. And y'all, not Katie gossiping about Allie and James in their own house regarding the pets. So James approaches them and Katie says, yeah, well, Allie told me about this wedding that she really wanted to attend with you. And James says, yeah, well, maybe next year I can leave the pets with someone else. James then starts to cry as everyone's telling him that's kind of ridiculous. And he compares his dog to Sheana and Lala's children. Again, I don't want to come off as insensitive, but the way I was raised, animals are animals. So all this like, oh, my pet is my child, I don't know nothing about that. Sounds ridiculous to me. But it also shows that James doesn't seem to be willing to make sacrifices for Allie. Everyone then goes outside, and Schwartz and James tell Katie that Jax is, blaming Katie for putting cheating rumors out there in the world. So Katie asks Jax, what are you on about, dude? And Jax says, what are you on about? Because I took a picture with a girl. You got to go tell around people that I'm cheating. And they both start to go at it. I don't like you. I don't like you either. Schwartz then talks to Ariana about this idea of him moving to her house. Ariana pretty much says that when she's out, whoever can like live there, it really doesn't matter. But she reminds him that the mortgage is going to be pretty ridiculously expensive. Then they bring some pizzas. Sandoval gets there, and Sheana says, Brock, it's time to go. It's bedtime. And he was in the pool and then starts to scream, why can't the nanny do it? I'm having fun. I'm trying to have some fun. Sheana goes, oh, I want to read her some bedtime stories. Oh my gosh. Fighting in front of everyone is so embarrassing. Honestly, that's so embarrassing. But then Sheana goes on again with Sandoval, talking about this new song that she put out and telling Sandoval that, this scandal has definitely affected her and he shouldn't have gone so mad at her. And Sandoval says, you were literally not directly affected by this. Raquel didn't F your man. And she says, I got a freaking restraining order. Then Brock jumps in and says, well, you're also going around singing about Schwartz's mom and Raquel. And Sheana says, do you not realize that after all of this, I now have effed up thoughts that Lala will hook up with Brock? That's all because of you. I have to go. Then Sandoval, once and for all, as she's walking away, shuts her up and says, you were the other woman in a whole ass marriage. And she goes off, you guys. She lost her S-H-I-T. I was in my 20s. And then everybody gets mad at Sandoval. But here's the thing, though. Did he lie? Did he lie? Did he freaking lie? No, he did not. Scheana was a homewrecker to a whole married woman, and the man and the woman were married. Brandy was pregnant, so, and yeah, it's in the past, but she still did it. Thus, she should probably keep her mouth shut about a situation about cheating instead of walking around through these streets looking like a desperate, thirsty, attention-seeking, egocentric, spoiled brat, making everything about her damn self. Honestly, it's really ridiculous, and it's like kind of pathetic and kind of scary, to be honest, of how much she's made this whole thing about her. When, and I, to a certain extent, I could understand why she was like, oh, this whole scandal has made me question if Brock will. But if we went our lives living like that, then we would all be traumatized over the things that happen. Like, oh, just because something happened to XYZ, now I'm going to be afraid. Listen, Scheana, you might need some electroshock therapy. I don't know what's gonna be the good fix for you, but this is ridiculous. So, Sandoval, thank you for finally shutting her up. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, how dare he?" But he has a right to call her out because what she did was messed up. She got with a whole married woman, you guys. A married woman. I don't care. I don't give a damn if she was in her 20s. I'm in my freaking 20s. I just turned 21. I would never do some shit like that. So nah, she does not get no damn pass. He shut her up, and I'm glad that she exited that house immediately. So anyway, that was the end of the episode. What a dramatic episode, from Jax fighting Lisa to Katie to this last scene. It was really good. Yeah, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one.